We've had quite a few different new products through Longacre over the last year here, uh, and most of them are up on our website. And but some of the common ones that guys call about, could we go over some of those?
Yeah, so we touched base earlier on the waterproof um, SMI gauges and digital gauges. So that was a huge addition to our lineup this year. Along with the waterproof gauges, we also came out with some tacks that are in that same 2 5/8 platform like this. So you don't have to have that big 4.5 inch tack. One of the nice additions to that tack is the availability to do an average high RPM and average low RPM um, to get a better idea on gearing, especially in the world of crate racing where we pretty well know what the average high RPM is, and that's what the chip's going to be. It gives you that average low RPM so you can make a better judgment on your gearing itself. We also did an upgrade on our small digital tack that's real popular with the micros and mini sprints. We've made some improved um, displays on that to give a better appearance and to be able to see that a lot better. Um, that tack also got the function of capacity to it got improved to have that function capacity of the average high and the average low RPM as well. The other some of the other new products that really excited about is the addition to uh, our lineup of having load machines. So we have a manual style load machine that uses an electric actuator that allows you to check your distance center to center and your loads to be able to check your load numbers, whether it be on pavement or dirt or even modifieds. And then we have an automatic style that allows you to program in what you want those center to center dimensions to be and measure those loads and do all that travel automatically instead of you manually doing it with the toggle switch. Both those load machines have the capacity of doing, of course, the smashing, but also pulling for like on a pull bar, which is really unique with our load machines. A lot of them out there, they can't pull, especially with the loads that we're pulling are able to pull with these. We have side unloaders available for them. We have ways to capture the spring and use preloaded stacks and be able to get everything onto the shock and spring itself. The other thing that we added this year was the load stick. So we have a single load stick which just has the ratcheting load stick to tell you the load, and we have a dual load stick that allows you to see the center to center dimension and the load there as well. So we traditionally have used this in like a GM style front end, like on a dirt modified, but we've also have learned a lot by adding this to checking sprint cars. So we were able to rate and dyno your torsion bars in the car as they're installed to get a true ride height load. You can also get a true dynamic load, and you can compare bar to bar to bar to bar and see when bars are either taking a set or they're falling off on their rate, which is very, very important to make sure you keep a consistent car under the driver.
And we've actually learned quite a bit on that load sticks for different uses. Like Ben said, it was mainly used on modifieds, but we've actually found a lot more usage for that. And I think it can, help a lot of guys out there checking bars just like we check springs. Allows us to check the bars and make a notebook throughout the year to be able to make sure that your bars are staying good in the car for the price of a load stick compared to a price of a torsion bar tester is quite a bit of difference there.
Yeah. And the nice thing with the load sticks is you're testing that bar in the car with your arms, with all your stops. You're testing that whole system as one. So whereas a lot of torsion bar raters, you're not necessarily testing all that whole system as one. Correct. And you're doing it from a center to center standpoint from your shock mounts. That gives you a realistic dimension so you know where you're at rating that bar.
Yes. I think the guys that is going to use this in the future. I think it's a really good thing for the torsion bar cars to be able to do that. There's guys, with a lot of torsion bar cars out there being sprint cars, and you have dirt modifieds and some other style of cars that are.
Yeah, any style car that has a spring system that's not on a coilover, these load sticks are great to have.
And if you have a coilover car and you still want to use this load rating stick, as long as you have another mounting position on your car, like where you actually would put bump stop sticks or anything like that, you can actually use this there and get some load numbers there also. Another thing that our machines do that I do like also, since it does do a pull mode also and extension, that when you're rating your bump stop or your springs and you're getting your load number, actually it gives you a graph and the numbers off your extension rate also, and not just your compression rate.
On the load machines where you can, like Brian was saying, it does, load number compressing and extending. So that's really big to see when you're looking at springs, to see how springs are falling off over time, or you can see how a bump stop is falling off over time, or, it'll show you exactly why, a foam bump stop works way different than a bump spring. You'll see exactly why that is.
Another good thing about it is that we're able just to rate your springs. If you use a coilover shock, you can use like a dummy shock to rate just the springs on this machine also. Or if you have a 5-inch diameter spring, you can use a coilover eliminator to actually rate your springs. We get that question a lot, being able to not just use it for getting a load number, but actually rating your springs.
Right.
And the good thing is it gives you extension and compressed of your springs. If you got any more questions, please go to longacreracing.com.